We are live. Hello, everybody. It is Will Middleton from LifterLMS. Let me make sure my audio is coming through fine. I've got the iMac microphone. Let's switch over to... Okay. That audio should hopefully be a little bit better. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, and let me know where you're calling in from. My name is Will Middleton. I'm with LifterLMS, and I'm calling in from Minnesota today. And got my camera set up. And we'll be diving into LifterLMS pre-sales questions today. Any questions you have about getting started, what is LifterLMS? Getting started, I can share my screen. We can talk through any of the LifterLMS add-ons, any of the LifterLMS setups. If you have any questions about strategy, tech, or anything else, we can dive into that here on the call. So let me know where you're calling in from, and I'm going to prep a few questions in the background that we've received in the last week that we can dive into in case nobody on the call has any questions yet. But feel free to drop any questions in chat if any questions do come up. I'll work on pulling up a few questions, and yeah, just let me know where you're calling in from. And you might have noticed that I am missing my co-host, Kurt, who's usually on the call with me. He's at a Marine Retailer Association event this week. He'll be back next week. He'll actually be back tomorrow, but we won't be doing a live stream tomorrow. But yeah, we'll be back on our usual routine next week. So jumping into the Facebook group now, jumping into the YouTube channel and seeing what kind of questions we have had. And for anyone who's new to these streams, LifterLMS is a plugin for WordPress that allows you to create courses and memberships on the back end of your WordPress website. And we join live weekly to share how you can optimize your LifterLMS website, how you can best get the most out of the platform for your audience and whatever you'd like to create. It's super flexible platform with a lot of interesting features. LifterLMS.com for some more information there. But let us know in the chat any questions you have. We might have had some new people coming in from Black Friday who have some questions about getting started with Lifter. I'd be happy to share any setup advice, as well as any new customers coming in with any pre-sales questions. We can dive into those as well. And our first question, I'll copy here from the Facebook group. I'll copy it over so I can highlight it on stream. But this is from our LifterLMS Facebook group. Paste that in and highlight. Boom. Hi, is it possible to restrict access to the whole site with the free plan? I'm creating a basic employee training site. They are not averse to paying for tools right now, but I'd like to start with free and upgrade as we expand in the future. Absolutely. So with LifterLMS and the free core plugin, for anyone who doesn't know, LifterLMS, you can find it on the WordPress repository as a free plugin, WordPress, LifterLMS. If I just open this Google search up in my tab here, we'll find the free LifterLMS plugin on the WordPress repository, and then at lifterlms.com/pricing. Pricing. I have so many links auto-populating. But lifterlms.com/pricing, you'll find the add-ons that LifterLMS has to offer. In bundles, the Universe Bundle, Earth Bundle, and Infinity Bundle, they all have different sets of add-ons regarding quiz advancement, payment gateways, all that kind of stuff. You can find a detailed outline on that page, but the free core plugin does include a lot of functionality just in and of itself. It includes the ability to create courses, memberships, certificates, access plans, and in this question, we're taking a look at how we can create an internal training site. So restricting the entire site with the free plan is absolutely possible. LifterLMS does have a few different ways to solve the same problem as with anything in WordPress. There's a LifterLMS private site add-on that I want to highlight as well. So for a really simple way to restrict your whole website for internal training, we use this one at LifterLMS private site is a really interesting one to check out. I'll put a link to this in the chat in a minute. But with just the free core plugin, my recommendation for creating an internal training website would be to go to LifterLMS settings, and then in the settings under memberships, we can restrict the entire site by membership level. And what this is going to do is mean that you have to be enrolled in a certain membership in order to view anything on the website. So if you, I guess I could show that as an example here. If I create a membership, This will be the employees membership. I will publish that thing. And as an internal training example, we'll hop back over to the settings. I'm going to reload the page just in case it doesn't pull up my membership. There it is, the employees membership. So only allow access to the site to users with a specific membership level. Users will be able to view and purchase that membership level. And so if you have an access plan set up on your membership, people will be able to purchase this. But for an internal training example, we would not set up an access plan. What we would probably do is manually enroll students via the student management tab here at the bottom. I'll have to reload the page in order to make sure I have student management access because I just published the membership. So there we go. Student management should be down here at the bottom. So I can type emails of users on the website and manually enroll them. So the only way you can get into this membership is if an admin were to manually enroll you. And then that would be a way to have an internal training example. Another alternative would be a free access plan, but it's a hidden visibility. So this is not going to be a publicly visible access plan. It's only going to be accessible via the purchase link. And so that would be sent out maybe via a mass email to all the employees in the organization to sign up and get access to the website. But when we go to our homepage, that should be displayed. And then if I go to the groups page or any page on the website, it should be restricted, assuming I'm not logged in. And of course, I'm an admin of the website, so I can go anywhere. But if I go back, let's make sure I save my settings. And I have another window open here to make sure. There we go. So let me share a different screen. If I stop my screen share, and I'll share the incognito window that I have open. This is what it'll look like if you were to activate that setting. So you must belong to the employee membership in order to access this content. You'll see that message across the website. And yeah, it shouldn't be a problem because employees will have access to the membership. They can go to the login page and they'll be good to go. But that's how you can restrict an entire site to a membership level with the free LifterLMS plugin. And then the LifterLMS private site add-on adds a few additional features on top of that to make the setup a little bit more interesting and add a few more features to that as an option. So let's dive in back over in Facebook and see if we had any other comments or questions. And again, welcome everyone joining the call. Feel free to drop in the chat any questions you have about LifterLMS getting started. We'll be here for the next 50 minutes or so answering those questions. This is an interesting question. Help, my courses disappeared. Let's put that in the comments and see what this is. Help, one of my courses disappeared. How can I get it back? I know for certain that I did not delete the course. However, I was doing a cleanup of old users and may have accidentally deleted the author of the course. Please, can anyone help? Absolutely. So that, I think you're right on with what's going on there is if you remove the author in WordPress of a post type and you don't attribute the content to somebody else when you delete them, it will delete the content that they've created. My recommendation for fixing that kind of setup would be to probably restore if there were people enrolled in the course, that would be a problem. Because I'm thinking you could have a staging website. So if you're on a website host like WP Engine, you can very easily create a staging website and copy a backup that might have been done like a few days before you deleted it. And that'll give you all the course content back on the staging website. And then with the LifterLMS features under courses, if we imagine this is my staging copy of my website, you could just export the course that was restored on the staging website and then go to your live website, LifterLMS import, and import that file to get all your course content back, the quizzes, the lessons, and everything. But the problem with that is it doesn't restore the user data. It doesn't restore the users who are enrolled in the course and their progress in the course and that kind of thing. So I feel like in that case, that's complicated because you don't want to do a whole website rollback backup because people have been making progress since, and you don't want to remove the progress that people have been making. So that might be um, like just you'd probably want to hire like a custom developer to go in there and make sure that the user progress of only that course gets restored. But yeah, that's why deleting things is very dangerous, and you want to be very slow when you do it because you don't want to delete the author of the course and delete all the content they've created and all the user progress. So I'd probably restore to a backup, especially if it happened recently. Then not much student progress data would be lost. And if you don't have a lot of students on the website, this would be probably the best way to go. But if you have like 20,000 students on your website and 3,000 of them had made progress in this course, like you're dealing with a lot of data, then it might be like a custom development thing to restore certain parts of database tables. But it is definitely possible. It's just that's a bit of a sticky situation for sure. So always be cautious when deleting things. Whenever you go to users and you're removing a user, I don't know. Oh, I have some instructors on this website. This is a perfect example. If I delete this person, we always want to not delete all content. We want to attribute the content to somebody else, like Akash at Lifter, but or Arthur Wells. I'm logged into this website as Arthur Wells. I'm the admin, so I would attribute all this user's content to me. And what that's going to do is when I delete this user, it's going to change all of the author information on the courses they created. It's going to change it to me. So it's not going to delete the course, just change the author to me. But yeah, that is a complicated situation, and hopefully there wasn't too much progress being made and you could just do a full website restore. That's always the easiest way to go, especially if you catch it quick. Let's see. This is another good question. Hi everyone, I have a membership that includes 10 courses. Okay. This is kind of a longer question. I'll put it in chat. Let's close some of my windows. Jump back over here. Paste that in the chat. It doesn't look like it totally copied. So there we go. Hi everyone, I have a membership that includes, that's not a great view. Hi everyone, I have a membership that includes 10 courses. Each course has its own email nurture sequence. I want to figure out how to not send those emails until the person wants to start a course. Is there a tagging strategy that I could use for this? Some people buy the course on their own. I can't figure it out. I use Fluent CRM for my email marketing, and inside Fluent, I can use the lists or tags. Any articles would be appreciated. So a membership that includes 10 courses, and each course has its own sequence. I want to figure out how to not send any of the emails and the sequences until the person wants to start the course. Absolutely. So I think the easiest setup for this, and I'll remove the comment from the screen because it's covering half my face, but the easiest setup, especially when you're using something like Fluent CRM, or really any CRM that integrates with Lifter, what we're talking about in this situation is exactly the setup I have on this website, where I have an Academy membership, and that Academy membership includes probably a lot of courses. So if I scroll down on my membership edit page, auto enrollment, there's probably a bunch of them here. Yeah, all these courses. So if you get this membership on this website, you will automatically be enrolled in all 15 or so of these courses. And so for this type of setup where you want to have email sequences, because they bought the membership, they have access to all 10 courses for free now, I would not use the auto enrollment feature. I would delete all this. I would remove the course. I'd remove all these courses, because instead of using auto enrollment, what we would instead do, we'll just imagine I deleted all these. If we go to edit a course, like the saving strategy course, for example, if that's going to be included in my Academy membership for free, what I would do is I'll delete these 2 access plans to make it a little simpler. As an example, the access plans for these courses would be free. So here we go. So we'll do no payment required. So this is going to be enrollment. enrollment. And the plan availability is going to be the key feature here, members only. So you do have to be enrolled in the Academy membership in order to be able to enroll into this course. But when you do want to enroll in the course, it's free payment, but you must be in the Academy membership. So let me save all my changes here and show you what that would look like. So jumping over to the front end of this course, saving strategy. I'm enrolled in the course, but let me see view as visitor up there at the top. Oh, I need to be in the employees. I got to turn off that setting I demonstrated earlier. Yeah, let's turn off the setting about being enrolled in the membership to access the website. That thing is going to cause me all kinds of problems. Because in this example, this would not be an internal training website, so we don't want to lock down the website in quite that way. So I should have view as visitor. Where is my pricing table? Do I not have the pricing table option on here? Maybe I need to save. There it is. Okay, cool. So always save. That's important. And so what's going on here is we have a free enrollment, but it's member pricing. So you do have to be enrolled in the Academy membership in order to get free access to this course. It'll take me over to the Academy membership to purchase this thing. But so you'd sell the Academy membership for $1,000, whatever you want it to be. And then each course would be free, but you have to be enrolled in the membership in order to enroll into the course. And then you would use Fluent CRM or Groundhog or ActiveCampaign with WP Fusion, whatever your CRM is. It could be MailChimp too. It could be really anything. You could use that at that point to say when a user enrolls in the course, start the email sequence. But they don't actually enroll into the course until they sign up for the free access plan. They do enroll into the membership, but not into the courses. They have free access to all 10 courses, but they'll have to initiate the process of enrolling into each course individually. So that would be how I create that setup for triggering email sequences per course, but this is after they bought the membership, and each course is now going to be free for them since they bought the membership. Very good question. Let's see. So let us see this next question. Good afternoon. I edited the course price and it didn't change on my page. Let me paste that in chat and pull it up on screen. Good afternoon. I edited my course price via the access plan. Suddenly on my sales page of my website, the course content is showing and no sales page. Have I accidentally hit a button? My sales page on the website, the course content is showing and no sales page. Interesting. So I guess I'll just talk at a high level about what a sales page means in LifterLMS. That might help shed some light on this question. So whenever we're editing a course or a membership in LifterLMS, we will have a few settings for sales page. If we scroll down, it's going to be the first tab on the course options. We can display the default course content. That's going to display all this stuff we see up here at the top, all these blocks that we've built out on the page about instructor and enrollment and the syllabus and everything. So that's what that's going to be. But then we have a few other options. We could show custom content, and it's going to, if I click that option, it's going to give me a little box where I can type out, hey, you don't have access to this. Buy it here, buy access here, something like that. And then maybe I would copy my purchase link and paste in my link to buy the access to the course. So that would be custom content. That one's a little bit like low level. I like to do redirect to a WordPress page. This will allow you to redirect to any page on your website. So we would go to pages, add new. I'll do that here in a new tab. And this is my saving strategy course. So we will call it the saving strategy sales page. And then here's where you would design your sales page any way you'd like. You could use patterns in WordPress. You could import something. You could use Elementor. You could use Divi. You could use Beaver Builder. Any builder you want to build out this page here. Do they have a call to action? That would be good for this page. Let's do that. Let's insert that pattern. So this is going to be my sales page. I don't want it to say shop now. Say buy the course. So we would have our purchase button, and that would link to this access plan, the enrollment plan. We'll copy the purchase link to that access plan, and that's what would go here as a link on my page to buy the course. And then I'll publish my page. And so now that I've created a page on my website that is styled exactly the way I want it to be, and of course this page doesn't look great, but it's pretty good for 30 seconds of work. But now I'll have this as an option here if I go to my select a page to redirect to, saving strategy sales page. So what's going to happen here is when somebody tries to view the course page, if they're not enrolled, they're going to be redirected over to the sales page. And that way you can have full customization over your design of the sales page, because here on the course page, if I view the, I guess I have it open right here, this page might not be the best style of page for you to use to sell your course, because it's like there's a lot going on here. It's like all kinds of information about difficulty and stuff like that. So if you're building a very simple website or a course website with a bunch of, maybe you got like 100 courses, this would be a pretty reasonable way to sell your course. But if maybe it's a single course website, or if it's you got like 5 courses or something, you might want to design a custom sales page for each of your courses. And maybe you don't want to show the syllabus to everybody. It's like, I don't want you to see all the lessons before you enroll in the course. I just want to give you, a little bit of a description of the course. And then once you enroll, you could see the description. So that's where that sales page redirect comes in. If you want to hide some of the content that's in the course before people buy, or you just want to have more control over the styling and branding and have a different experience before people buy and a different experience after people buy. A little bit long-winded, but that's the redirect to a WordPress page. You can also redirect to a custom URL. This one's interesting if you have multiple websites. Some people have a website where they sell their content. They post blog posts and YouTube videos, whatever kind of like a marketing website is what I'm trying to say. They have a marketing website, and then they have an LMS website. They're 2 separate websites. It could be a subdomain and a main domain, or it could be 2 completely separate entities. But the custom URL allows you to redirect to any website. So if it's a different website, I can just paste the URL. If someone tries to view the course, they're not enrolled, we'll redirect them over there. And then of course we would probably want them to end up back at this purchase link. So we would put the link on our other website so they could enroll. There's also redirect to a WooCommerce product. If you happen to be using the LifterLMS WooCommerce extension, which I do have installed on this website, we'll redirect them to a WooCommerce product. Because they're not supposed to see the course content yet, send them over to the WooCommerce product to purchase. So that's at a high level what the sales page options in Lifter are. So when it comes back to this question of, I edited my course price with the access plan, which would be right down here. And then, if no payment required, I do have the WooCommerce product installed and activated. So it's going to ask me, when you're using LifterLMS and WooCommerce side by side, you don't get to write a price here. Instead, you would go to WooCommerce products, create a product, and then associate this course with one of those products. That's a little more complicated to use LifterLMS and WooCommerce side by side. Let me turn that off for the sake of the example. Just disable that integration. Reload my course page. So what I'm imagining is happening here is that this user is not working with the WooCommerce extension, and instead they went right here to change the price from $1,000 one-time payment. You could do $1,000 every month. You could do it a bunch of different ways. But I'm assuming what happened is they must have accidentally clicked something up here while they were trying to change something down here. Maybe it was like redirect to WordPress page, and then they accidentally did something like that and then updated. So I think making sure that your sales page content is redirecting where you want it to go and your access plan is saved would be what I would review on that website to see what went wrong. I don't know if we can exactly backtrack what might have been clicked, but that's what I'd recommend there. This is a great question as well. Let me highlight this one. I talked about exporting, and this question came in about, when you export, what goes with it? Just the course? The lessons and the quiz? Do the engagements and certificates go with the export as well? And so to re-highlight that, when we're on the courses page, the full courses list, and I'll close some of my tabs here. I've been going kind of crazy with the tabs. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry. So when we're on the full courses list, we have the option to export. LifterLMS has that feature where you can export from one LifterLMS site to another LifterLMS website. It'll download a JSON file to your computer. It's just like a file that's formatted in a certain way. And then you can go to LifterLMS import to import that thing and bring it in. And that's going to bring your lessons, your course, the course description, the access plans. It'll bring your quizzes. But what it will not bring is your engagements. On the sidebar over here, LifterLMS engagements, this is where you'll create your certificates and your emails and achievements that would be associated with the course. So like little pop-up notifications and badges and things like that would be created over there on the sidebar with engagements add new. So when you do a course export, it's not going to take these engagements with it. So those would have to be recreated on the other website. Comments on that? Vicky's in chat. Hi, Vicky. Thanks for hopping on. If you have no more questions or troubleshooting, can you walk through the cohort function? Absolutely. So LifterLMS released an add-on called LifterLMS Cohorts. This song is a little bit louder, so I'm going to change it down to volume 8. There we go. So LifterLMS released an add-on recently called Cohorts. This is an add-on that allows you to have this option, new cohort, on every one of your courses. And so that is one of the, I was on the pricing page somewhere. It's in the Infinity bundle, but it is also available for as just an individual add-on. And what that product does, once you install and activate that plugin, either from your add-ons and more screen in the back end of your website, or you could download the zip file from lifterlms.com and upload it to your website. You just install and activate that plugin, however you do that for your WordPress sites. And then once it's installed and activated as a plugin, we'll see it on our plugins list. So LifterLMS cohorts, course cohorts, right there. So we'll install and activate that. And if you don't have that installed, you can go to add-ons and more, add in your license key if you have access to cohorts, and it'll be available to install there. But then once it's installed and activated, LifterLMS settings, integrations, is where we will enable that. So LifterLMS course cohorts, we'll select that option. Make sure to just check that box to enable the integration. Some people miss that checkbox and they're like, where's the cohorts? It's like, make sure that one's checked. I don't really know exactly why there's a step involved where you have to check a box to enable it, but it's there. And there's no settings or anything on the screen. You just check the box to enable and it's good to go. But yeah, so once that's enabled, you'll have the option on all of your courses to create a new cohort. So I'm going to click on Saving Strategy, New Cohort. It's going to launch me into a setup wizard that looks a lot like the LifterLMS default setup wizard. When you install the plugin, you see something pretty similar to this, but it says we're going to create a clone. I should have stayed on that screen longer. Can I go back? Yeah, okay, cool. So a cohort is a cloned version of a course that you can offer to a specific group of people with a certain period of time. So it's like if you have an example where you're doing a course session, it's coming up in 2024. So you have a January 2024 class, and then you're going to have like a March 2024 class. Like every 3 months you're doing a class. This would be a perfect use case for LifterLMS cohorts. And that's kind of the idea, is that we've got our January people, we've got our March people, and we don't want them to mix. We want to do a class. The class will end. They'll leave the website and the new class will start. And so we'll create a cohort for the course, and then we'll give that cohort a name. So this will be the January, and of course I'm going to spell that wrong, 2024 cohort. What? Okay, there we go. I was like, I thought I auto-corrected that. So this is my January, I should have given it a better name of like, this is the specifically saving strategy course. Naming things well on the back end of your WordPress website is something I take for granted as a developer. But when you're dealing with like, 20, 30 courses, it's nice to have like detailed names that make sense to you on the back end of your website. So the enrollment period, I'm going to set an enrollment period. So enrollment is going to start today, December 7th, 2023, and it's going to end not a year from now. Since this class is going to start in January, I'm going to say you have to be enrolled by the 28th. So you have the month of December, basically, and change that to 2023 because this is starting in 2024. So you have just like, this is like a 2-week period to enroll in the course. But you create an enrollment period of like, we're starting in January, so you have to get in before then. And then the time period, we can say that this course start date, if you were to enroll today on December 7th, you don't get access to the course content yet because the course starts in January. So we're going to say it's going to become available January 1st. And I said something about March, right? So let's go to February. Yeah. So you'll have a 2-month access to the course from January to the end of February. And then we'll start a new cohort for maybe March. And I could reset the drip settings. In LifterLMS, there's drip settings where you can say a lesson becomes available once a week. If you do have the drip settings set up, you could check the box to reset them so that you can reset it. I should actually show you what I'm talking about with drip settings real quick, because that is relatively important for the cohort setup. So I'm cloning the saving strategy course as the example. So I don't think I have drip settings enabled. Drip is disabled. Yeah, so it's not enabled. But if I were to enable drip to say that this comes available on a specific date, and let's imagine that I did saving strategy in November of 2023, I would want to reset the drip settings because this is going to be messed up. Like we don't want someone who's enrolling for a January course to have drip settings about being available in November of the previous year. So we would want to reset the drip settings, which is why that little checkbox is important, assuming that you're using drip settings. Most courses don't use them, but if you happen to be using them, I recommend checking that box to reset them for each of your cohorts. Previous cohort visibility. So we can say, close the enrollment for the cohort and hide the one I created. So what this is going to do is close the enrollment for my saving strategy course, the original one, because we're creating a cloned copy. And we want to take the old one off the website and put this one on the website. So if I go back to my courses list, we have our January 2024 saving strategy cohort, and this one is no longer going to be available because we're going to move forward. And the next time we do a cohort, we can just start right there and do the one for March by launching into the setup wizard, filling out all the same information for the March cohort. So that's an overview of how to use LifterLMS cohorts. Really cool add-on. I was driving, I think, to Minnesota from Georgia, and Chris called me in the car and he's like, hey, let's talk about how we might be able to put the product together. And I'm like, this setup wizard would be a really cool idea of like just kind of walking you through the steps. And in full disclosure, you can do all of what I just showed on screen with the free LifterLMS core plugin, but it's just a lot more steps and it's finicky and you have to like think about it a little bit backwards. The cohort, like where you clone the course and then change the name of the clone and then change the enrollment period for the clone and then you change the drip settings manually. It's like a lot of work. And so this cohort tool is going to make that whole process a lot more streamlined. Yeah, feel free to let me know if you have any comments or follow-up questions on LifterLMS cohorts in the chat. That's available at lifterlms.com. And let's see what other questions we have. Boom. Love the wizard on the cohorts plugin. Absolutely. Yeah, I thought that was it's a nice user experience, so you don't have to go through documentation and figure all the stuff out. You can just click new cohort and follow along with the steps. I really love the wizard as well. So this question is, I know we can restrict access to pages and posts in LifterLMS, but is it possible to restrict access to an entire taxonomy, like a tag or category of posts or pages at once? Unfortunately, no, there's not really a super simple way to do that, but there's a few options we do have. What LaRosa from our Facebook group is asking about here is we have on pages, if I edit any page in my WordPress website, because LifterLMS, the plugin, is active, we have an option over here on the right, membership access, restrict access to the page. So you have to be enrolled in a membership to access this page if I were to enable this setting. So that's what we're talking about, but can we do it in like blanket terms with all posts in a taxonomy at once? That's a little bit more complicated. So if we imagine blog posts frequently use tags and categories, so I have a bunch of blog posts on this website. So if I wanted to restrict all the blog posts in the business category, there is not a way in LifterLMS technically to restrict an entire category. But we could do something like this. So if we were to filter my posts to the business category posts, there's only one, but I'm going to bulk edit. And I don't think I can do membership settings here. Oh shit, no, I can't. That sucks. But I thought we might be able to do it on a bulk edit screen. It turns out that would have to be done one by one. You could always do a database query too, because these are, I know LaRosa is a little bit more of a technical user in our group. You could do a query in the database to change a certain attribute on posts in a table that match a certain search term. That's a little bit advanced to go into like the MySQL area of your website host and fill in a little bit of a database query, but you can say like, if the post has a category of XYZ, whatever the slug of your category is, fill in this other field, the one about restricting the membership for that post, the one down here, fill in this field with a certain value. So there are ways to do it in bulk as a developer, but unfortunately that's not a feature of Lifter out of the box at the moment. I've heard there are some tools that can allow you to do that, like other membership tools that would integrate with LifterLMS, but unfortunately that doesn't appear to be a LifterLMS option. I thought there might be some kind of a shortcut, but it doesn't appear that there's a really great shortcut there at the moment. Let's jump over to YouTube real quick. I want to make sure I get across a few channels. We have about 20 minutes left, so anyone joining, welcome to the call. This is the LifterLMS pre-sales and getting started call, where we can talk about any questions you have about LifterLMS. Sometimes we get into some more advanced topics like SCORM and Elementor and stuff like that, and sometimes we stick with just the core LifterLMS functionality like we've been talking about in this call. But any questions you have anywhere you're stuck with your LifterLMS website or hitting a wall with like, I don't know how to design this page, I don't know how to use this feature, something broke, just drop it in the chat, in the comments, and I'd be happy to dive into that live on the call. I gotta change the music up a little bit. We'll do that one. Okay, cool. So back over to the YouTube comments. Let's see. Hello, sir. Are you looking for a professional YouTube thumbnail designer? We're not currently. Hi, will this work to migrate courses from TutorLMS to LifterLMS? So we had a video about how to migrate content from LearnDash to LifterLMS. If you're making a migration, that's something some customers do where they are already on an LMS and they want to move to another LMS because they want to unlock some features, or they just want to change the style of their LMS. For any reason, someone wants to migrate from a WordPress LMS to another WordPress LMS. There are some interesting ways in development to do that in the community. And actually, I haven't sent out any emails about this webinar yet. I shouldn't open that on the tab I'm sharing. I'm gonna open my calendar. I think it's 2 weeks from now. Yep, not next Monday, but the following Monday. Make sure when this, oh, here it is. Okay, Monday the 18th of December. Monday the 18th of December, we'll be sending out some more promotional materials about this, but if I go to lifterlms.com/store, is that this is an available product right now, and it doesn't currently work with TutorLMS, but I think I've heard they have plans to make it work with TutorLMS. It currently works with LifterLMS and LearnDash. If I go to the third-party section of the LifterLMS store, there's the transfer product here from Honors WP. This is a really, really cool tool that Honors WP had developed, and we'll be doing a webinar about it a little bit over 2 weeks from now, and you'll see some emails about that one. And that shows how you can back up courses, migrate them from one LMS to another, and eventually they've said, they want to add some more LMSs to this so that you could go from Tutor to LearnDash, from LearnDash to Tutor, from Tutor to Lifter to, so you can do all the different migrations if you wanted to. So they're really working on a solution to unlock some of those benefits of making it a lot easier to migrate from one LMS to another within WordPress. But at the moment, this comment was on a YouTube video that we did about migrating from LifterLM or LearnDash to LifterLMS using WP all import, WP all export. If I open that video, I'll put it here in the chat, the current resource we have on that. And so my recommendation now for people moving from LearnDash to Lifter would be to use the transfer product rather than this video tutorial, because the transfer product is a better way to do it. And it's super new, like that. It hasn't been out for too long. But this is how you could migrate using WP all import, WP all export. And that is a solution that should work for Tutor LMS as well. I haven't tried it specifically with Tutor, but it's a way where you can export your lesson post types and your course post types, import them to your new website, and then in Lifter, you'd want to associate the lessons with the courses, because when you import via that method, they'll all be detached, all the lessons, and then you would have to go to your course builder under Builder, and you would have to do add existing lesson and then search up your lesson titles. But it makes the lesson content migration process a lot faster. So I'd recommend that as the way to do it with Tutor. I feel like someone on our team had tried it with Tutor, but I can't remember if they had. I would definitely give it a shot with WPL import, WPL export as a way to migrate if you're looking to migrate from Tutor to Lifter. And then let's see. Thank you very much. Great ideas. Please help me. I can't find the SkyPilot theme. That's a good question. So LifterLMS SkyPilot theme is one that's available. It's a premium theme from LifterLMS. It's included in the Universe bundle and Infinity bundle. SkyPilot theme. That is the theme that I'm using on my demo site right here. If I go to the front end, it's a full site editing theme, which is going to become a much larger trend in the next 10 years or so, with using blocks in WordPress. The WordPress block editor is becoming more popular and more robust year over year. And one of the latest developments is the idea of a full site editing theme where you can edit your header and your footer and your sidebar as well in blocks. Usually with a theme like Astra or Cadence, we're used to going to Appearance, Customize, and there's like an interface where we can change our site logo, we can change our sidebar and our header and our footer and everything. But the full site editing framework that's here involved here on my screen with SkyPilot is also involved with themes like the 2024 theme for WordPress. And as more themes adopt the full site editing framework, it'll make it easier to transfer from one theme to the other. So if you build your site, if you're building a new site, I would recommend checking out a full site editing theme. It doesn't have to be Lifter SkyPilot if you don't have the Universe or Infinity bundle or want to buy it individually. If you're building a new site, I'd recommend some sort of full site editing theme though, because this is really going to be the future of where themes are going. But if you already have a site with Astra or Cadence or GeneratePress or any pre-existing theme, I don't think you should feel any kind of pressure to switch themes, because if you have something that's working, keep going with it. But if you are building a new site from scratch, I would give these themes serious consideration. From Don in chat, hi Will, Don from Canada. What is the easiest way to customize the student dashboard using Elementor? You made a video on it a few years ago. Yeah, so it depends on what kind of customizations you want to make. I'd be happy to dive into a little bit of a tutorial on that. There's a few different layers, and it depends on like how far are you looking to go with it. If I install the Elementor free plugin on my website, and also if you're working with Elementor free versus Elementor Pro, that's another consideration. And the tips I'll share here would apply to Beaver Builder and Divi as well, and WP Bakery. For just generally getting it set up. I don't want to go through this whole setup wizard. Close that. So I've installed Elementor, and if I go to my dashboard page, the most basic version of a way to edit your dashboard page with Elementor would be to allow your theme to style the dashboard as is, and then simply launch the Elementor editor on the dashboard page, and then make customizations above and below that dashboard area. If you use LifterLMS before, and you've seen that dashboard page, there's like certificates and orders and courses and all that kind of stuff here on the dashboard. And this is all populated from a shortcode. So I would always recommend putting this into a shortcode block if you're working with Elementor. Put that in a shortcode block. And then we can get a little bit more advanced with it. So if we wanted to add like a full width page, so if I want to change my template style, I could go to Elementor Canvas, for example. That'll remove my header and footer, and then I could design like a totally custom experience where maybe we would have an inner section. Maybe that's a feature of Elementor Pro. We could throw like a margin on here. This is the simplest design change that I usually make to my pages is I need margin on the section, it would be margin on the column. How do let me go to my navigator. Container shortcut. Oh yeah, the Elementor stuff. Can I do just like a section layout with columns? Yeah, that's what I want. Section layout with columns. So let's move my shortcode into a section layout. And you could install like a background and put content above and below here. So if I delete that and then delete this thing, this column should be 100% width. And then this is what I'm looking for. I want a margin on the column of 100, for example. And then we could do something like a style background, semi-translucent kind of thing of like a white, but it's semi-translucent. And then we can do a section background. This is kind of the coolest way I like to style these types of pages. I don't know what your background to be. That's a little bit too much, probably. But like you can customize the layout a little bit, but you can see we're not editing the actual content of the dashboard. We're just kind of creating content around what LifterLMS has already created. And there's a few tutorials we have about removing certain content from LifterLMS. If you wanted to remove the My Groups tab, for example, let me go to a new tab here and go to the back end of my website. I could go to LifterLMS settings, accounts, and My Groups is or which one did I? Oh, let's say grades. We're not using grades. We're not using achievements on this website. We're not using certificates. Any of these things you're not using, you could remove those tabs there. I'll update my dashboard page and then reload. That should go away. There we go. So we make that interface a little bit more simple. And we could also remove these sections from the middle of the page as well. You can see when I removed achievements and certificates, they also disappeared from the middle of the page. But if you did want to go to the next level of not only working with what's here in Elementor, where you're just kind of customizing above and below the dashboard and doing things in addition to what LifterLMS has to offer, you actually want to mess around with like these pages a little bit more. I would recommend Tangible Lifter Elements. And that's what I demonstrate in that video, Tangible Lifter Elements dashboard. This is like a really old callback for me. I think this video was like 2018 or something. Let me mute the video. I was still in my bedroom at my mom's house recording this, and yeah, so this is a way where you could use. Do I talk about lifter elements? I guess, yeah, so Tangible Lifter Elements. You can see it down there at the bottom. So if I go to Google Tangible Lifter Elements. Lifter Elements. This thing is going to give you access to Elementor customizations for your progress bar, where you could like make your progress bar a circle and make it a gradient and like really elementorize your pages a lot more. And I would only recommend going down this route if you're like using Elementor Pro and you're ready to like go to the max with building your website with Elementor. I'd recommend sticking with the simple setup if you're looking for basic customizations, but otherwise Elementor Pro and Lifter Elements is a great way to go advanced. I actually have a full free course about how to use Lifter LMS, Elementor, and Tangible Elements to customize your entire website with Elementor, or as much as possible. There are certain things you can't customize. For example, like the Lifter LMS groups page, I don't believe is a feature that has been worked into this yet, where you can modify the layout of your groups with Lifter Elements. But there are ways that you can kind of get creative with it. If you're like a power user of WordPress and a power user of Elementor and Lifter, and you really want to break out of this traditional mold of how your theme styles the page and what Lifter does, there are definitely opportunities to do that with Elementor and other page builders. But I like to stick with this relatively simple layout if possible, and then there are some ways to customize. So I don't know, Don, if you want to put in chat a little bit more about specifically what you're looking to customize in the user experience, that might help me with figuring out exactly what we're looking to set up there, because we could do some interesting stuff with LifterLMS and this Elementor page builder. I love the customization features. If I find the LifterLMS shortcode real quick for first name, we can say like hi first name when they come to the dashboard. What is it here? Shortcodes, first name, LifterLMS user first name. Let's put that thing over here. Let's see if this works. Update that. Go back to the front end of my website and go to the dashboard. Hi, Arthur. Yeah, so that's kind of a cool feature. And I did Elementor Canvas on this page, so now I have no way to get back to the home page. So I would probably want to put some kind of a header up here, like a button. Hold on. Return to home page. And then that would just go back to the homepage URL. And I'd style that up a little bit more. But there are a lot of options for you to unlock design freedom and flexibility with these page builders. It just requires a little bit more elbow grease. Excellent. Thanks so much. No problem. No problem. I love Elementor and LifterLMS. I was building a site earlier today with Elementor and LifterLMS and laying out pricing tables and stuff. There's a lot more deep customizations you can do. I always recommend with people who are getting into that is like, is it necessary for your business to have that upgraded design? And if so, go with it. Because I mean, I can do all kinds of advanced stuff in WordPress, and the more advanced stuff I learn how to do, the more I'm like, you know what, this really might not be necessary. I'm just going to install SkyPilot and not do anything else. I'm just going to like create my course, install SkyPilot, and call it good to go. Or Astra or Cadence if you're working with a free plugin looking to create a budget setup. But if you are like at the point where you're like, we need to make the website look like ClickFunnels or something, that's where you're like, okay, well, if we want to create those advanced layouts like ClickFunnels has, we're going to probably need something more robust like Elementor. Elementor has motion effects. It has all kinds of other crazy things that the WordPress block editor just doesn't have in terms of design. More advanced control over padding and spacing, a little more of an intuitive building experience. Currently, it more closely mimics what Wix and Squarespace building is like. So there are some advantages to using Elementor. I'm personally avoiding it with my projects if I don't need to use it. I do have some projects like magicwillmiddleton.com is Elementor, and I'm always going to keep it on Elementor because I like doing crazy stuff like motion effects. But if you're not trying to do crazy design, I would probably avoid it. But if you do want crazy design, that's my top tool for it. We've got about 5 minutes left, so anyone in the chat who has any last-minute burning questions, feel free to drop those in the chat, and I'll make sure to cover that while we're here. But if there's no other questions, I'll go to the comments on YouTube and find another question. Let's see. So that's all the YouTube questions. Back over to Facebook. There's a good question on November 29. Okay. Looking for a way to restrict accounts to certain domains. All of my clients are using specific email domains, and it seems the plugins out there for WordPress registration. Has anyone figured out a solution to restrict certain domains from signing up? So it's like if you have to have a lifterlms.com email in order to sign up. That would be kind of the challenge here. That's not currently a feature of LifterLMS, but I do remember this user came to our LifterLMS open office hours call and we answered that question. What ended up being the solution was to use WP Forms, which has a feature to allow or to require an email field to force a specific domain to be used. So you can say you have to have an @lifterlms.com email in order to be able to submit this form. That's a feature of WP Forms. And LifterLMS has an integration with WP Forms where you can have users register with a WP form, and then it'll create them an account and enroll them in a course with LifterLMS. So that's what happened is WP form that is doing user registration is locking down the proper domain name that they wanted to restrict. And then the LifterLMS WP Forms integration was turned on and integrated with that form to create that setup. That's kind of an advanced question as well, but it's 100% possible. Awesome. Well, I don't think there's any like specific sales going on at the moment. So 15% off. LifterLMS-Live is a coupon code you can use for 15% off any of the LifterLMS products on our store. If anything was interesting to you from this call for the Universe Bundle, Infinity Bundle, SkyPilot theme, any individual add-ons, save that coupon code in chat, and you could use that. That's a coupon code that doesn't ever expire, so we might have a better sale in the future, but you've got that one 15% off. Like I know Black Friday, it's like I don't even remember. It's like 50% off or something crazy. Then there's also 3 years for the price of 2 on Infinity and Universe bundles. So if you know you're going to be with a LifterLMS project for about 3 years or more than 2 years, then it makes sense to consider these 3-year Universe and Infinity offers. You could email help@lifterlms.com to ask more about these, but you could also probably Google it, LifterLMS 3-year Infinity or something like that, and you'll find the those products, and that'll get you a little bit of an extended discount. And you can also use a coupon code on it, right? So it's like, what's the Infinity bundle, like 12? I do math now, like $1,200. So 3 years for the price of 2 would be $2,400 for 3 years. Plus you can use coupon codes to bring down the $2,400. The same thing with the Universe one is like $360, so it's not like $720, and then you can use $720 for 3 years, which would be the price of 2. But then you can also use a coupon code on top of that to bring it down a little further. So it's more like 50% off. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining me on this live stream. Feel free to let us know in the comments if you have any questions about LifterLMS. I'll be live again next week with my co-host Kurt, and we will be diving into some more LifterLMS Q&A. I'll be live again about 1 hour from now in LifterLMS Office Hours Mastermind. So if you're a Universe or Infinity level customer, check your email for that Zoom link, and we'll be live answering tech strategy questions and just generally hanging out. So hop on the Universe Infinity bundle, and we'll hope to see you on that call. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day.